Question for Rob. I wonder if you could describe for us what it feels like when you're being stimulated, and also how long are you standing up in any one time, and how many times are you doing that?
First of all, the stimulator feels like a tingling, and depending upon the voltage, it's either a weaker tingling that starts in my abs and goes down to my toes, or as the voltage gets higher, it gets more intense. What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
And how many times are you standing?
I turn the stimulator on for 2 hours a day. I work with, I try and do 1 hour of standing independently by myself, as well as I do an hour of voluntary movement where I have the stimulator on. I work on moving my toes, ankles, knees, hips, just as if I was in the gym doing repetitions of anything else. I've got a long list of goals, but first of all, it's to stand completely independently. It's also able to take steps in a more functional manner, and eventually try and play baseball again. And I believe that with hard work, it's a possibility and something I'm always going to be striving for.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I have one question for the researchers, and I have a question for Rob. My question for the researchers is these are commercially available devices. Is there any reason why people can't, surgeons now at spinal centers can't start trying to replicate these findings and try treating some patients? And are there specific patients that would be best candidates for this? Is there a certain percentage of people with spinal cord injury that would be good candidates and a certain percentage that would never be good candidates?
Susan Harkema. Well, first of all, the technology is our greatest limitation right now. So that's one current barrier. We really need to develop the technology to another level before it would really be something that would be viable on a larger scale. The second aspect of it is that there's going to involve a lot of training of how to place the electrode, how to do the training, how to determine the parameters. So that's another big step that we need to take. And you know, in our studies going forward, we don't know the answer to your third question of how many patients that this would be a viable intervention for. And so we're going to immediately do 4 more people who have a similar type of injury as Rob does, because we certainly have to replicate this in other individuals and see if the responses are similar or if there's differences among people. And then we also have to look at other types of injuries and even other types of causes of paralysis, such as a stroke or a movement disorder or brain injury. As Reggie said earlier, this is really about taking advantage of the circuitry that's in the lower cord. So if you're paralyzed for any of those things, as long as those circuits are still viable, theoretically this could be used for anyone who's paralyzed. So that would be, you know, another next step where we would begin to look at the effects of this in other disorders. But we're still really in the experimental stage. We've shown the proof of principle, and we're really looking to move forward and answer many of these questions. But these questions have to be answered before it's something that would be available to translate into the clinic.
And for Rob, I have a question. It must have been the most dramatic film I saw in a long time was that video of you standing for the first time. Can you talk to us about your experience of standing for the first time? What was it like? What were your, what was it that happened for you when you finally succeeded in standing?
Being able to stand for the first time was absolutely an incredible feeling. It was both emotional and exciting, and I'd finally been able to realize after years of plateauing and not seeing any gains or any recovery through my hard work, I was finally able to physically and emotionally see my hard work pay off, and that was just as rewarding as anything else I've done in my life. And I really owe that to all of the doctors and researchers here at the table, as well as everyone behind the scenes who put in countless hours, as did I, to make that dream come true.